Very good. It is a time of high tension, I'd say, around here, Adam, as we now are reacting to the idea that a new head coach could be selected within the next 24 to 48 hours. The reporting is that the Crafts want to get this done quickly. How quickly do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that quick. I think there's going to be some steps and interviews to go through here. I'm sure people think that it could get done 24 hours from now, 48 hours. That would surprise me. Now, we'll see where it goes and we'll see what happens, but I don't think it's going to move that quickly. I just don't.
So there is a perception here that it's fait accompli, that Mike Vrabel is going to be the next head coach. Do you believe there is definitely mutual, legitimate interest between the Patriots and Ben Johnson?
I believe there is definitely, well, okay. Well, there's three things there. I don't believe it's fait accompli with Vrabel and the Patriots. I think he's absolutely the leading candidate. He is the logical choice, and I think it probably would be a surprise if it didn't work out. But you could go through any number of coaching searches over time and say, well, Josh McDaniels is supposed to get the Colts job. Bill Belichick was supposed to get the Jets job. Things happen, and there's a lot of interest in Mike. Do I think that the Patriots hold a tremendous amount of appeal to him? Yes. Do I think he to them? Yes. Is it a lot? Of course. All those things are true. And in the end, it probably gets done. But I don't think it's done. I still think there's steps to go through. There's a process that has to be followed. Again, that's kind of where we're at. I don't think it's going to be a quick resolution this week. I don't expect that. Maybe I'm going to be wrong. And that's where I see things as we sit here today, Wednesday afternoon.
You mentioned the process, and I think a lot of people raised an eye with the interviews with Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton that came very quickly, and then everybody was like, oh, now they can hire Mike Vrabel and hire whoever they want.
Right.
What do you make of those interviews that, quite honestly, most of the world looks at as a sham?
Yeah, again, I think those are compliance interviews. Those are guys that I don't think anybody views them realistically as viable head coaching candidates right now. That's not a shot at them. Sorry if it comes off that way. Those guys have had great success in this league. Those guys belong in this league. Those guys have great credentials, but I don't think anybody viewed them as leading head coaching candidates this year. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Adam, would you say that the process now is maybe more important than it was last time around? Since last time around there wasn't really a process at all. It was written into Gerard Mayo's contract. They didn't do any interviews. They didn't do any of that. Is this maybe a bit of compensation from the way it happened last time?
Well, I would like to think that there's never been a process in New England where they've never engaged in head coach interviews. It was Bill Belichick, and then it was Gerard Mayo. And these processes can be educational and informative and beneficial to an organization. Like I was thinking this morning, if I'm the New York Jets, every head coach candidate, every GM candidate that I have in there, what would you do if you were us looking for a quarterback? You don't know what you're going to hear. It's almost like stealing somebody's idea. Not that they have a patent on it. And you can get a lot of ideas. Well, if I'm New England, I'm getting as much feedback and insight as I can from very many people. Hey, what do you think we should be doing? What do you think of our roster? Like, get educated. Plus, you don't know. You may fall in love with Ben Johnson. You may fall in love with Aaron Glenn. You may fall in love with Byron Leftwich. You may fall in love with. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's why, again, I come back to, yes, I think we all can logically assume that Mike Vrabel is the leading candidate. But that doesn't mean it's done in the end. Again, the leading guy, I think in the end it probably will get done at some point in time. But there's a lot that goes into these searches, a lot that happens, a lot that can unfold, a lot that's fluid. And I never like to rush with anything like that.
So you use the word probable. Let's just assume Mike Vrabel ends up getting the job. The process plays out. I think a lot of fans immediately say, well, who's going to coach Drake May? Who will his offensive coordinator be? Do you have any assumptions there, ideas? We've heard Tommy Rees thrown out. We've heard the idea of pairing him up with Josh McDaniels. How do you think that might play out?
Josh would make sense to me. I haven't heard that yet. It's certainly logical. He's in the area, and he'd be great at that. I don't know how viable that is or isn't right now. And look, Mike Vrabel's had months to plan this. And that's a tough job to fill, that offensive coordinator role, and it becomes a critical hire. But I think if that's the route that they wind up going, you're investing in the type of program and culture that you believe Mike Vrabel would bring, which was a highly successful one in Tennessee. And whoever it is, it should work. I don't know who it is right now, but I guarantee, Mike Vrabel isn't getting hired and say, okay, so we're hired. It's done. Well, let me see who I can go get now. Like, that's not how it's going to work. Mike Vrabel knows exactly what he would do.
We're talking with Adam Schefter, ESPN. Excuse me there, Schefter. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I do want to ask, though, about the last 3 years here. The Bill Belichick firing, 1 year of Gerard Mayo. He gets fired after one season. Generally, it seems like when teams blow through coaches like that, they become less attractive as destinations. But that doesn't appear to be the case here with the Patriots. Do you have any insight into that? Like, isn't that usually a big red flag for these candidates?
Well, you have to be comfortable. But, again, I think you come back to a couple of things in the end. You come back to, I think, first and foremost, the quarterback. What's the quarterback situation? Well, New England, at that spot, it's in a positive position, and it's a strength. You come back to ownership. And despite recent struggles, I still think that ownership is a plus. And so if you've got the quarterback and you've got ownership, then you've got a chance to be successful, really successful. And that's how I view it. I don't care what's going on. I'm not worried about them one. They're still repairing and rebuilding the roster, and they'll get it done. And when they get it done, they'll be in a position to win again.
On Monday, Robert Kraft said not only will Elliott Wolf be staying for now, that he'll be involved in the hiring process of the head coach. Does that mean Elliott Wolf is going to remain the most significant personnel voice with the Patriots moving forward?
Well, I want to see who they hire. Like, if Mike Vrabel comes in, Mike Vrabel might want to have his own GM. And I would say this. I would say that Elliott Wolf definitely has a role within the organization, and it'll be a prominent role. But I think until we know who the head coach is and what he thinks and what his ideas are, I'm not going to define his role yet. Let's just wait and see.
Any other big surprises coming up around the bend here in terms of potential hires, potential firings? I know that not every team waited until Black Monday this year. The Patriots did it a day early. Some teams have waited until after that. You hearing anything else about the continued movement on the coaching carousel outside of New England?
Well, we've got 6 right now, I believe, right? It's Jacksonville, Jets, Saints, Raiders, Patriots, and I'm missing one, and the Bears.
Bears, yeah.
That's 6. Cowboys obviously could be a 7th, right? Easily. We don't know what's going to happen there. And it's possible there could be another one. Yes. I don't think it's likely, but the playoffs are going to unfold. Somebody's going to have a disappointing loss. Let's see how upset an owner is after a disappointing loss. We've seen enough crazy things in this league to not make declarations about everybody being safe.
All right, well, when we let you go, we'll guess about who you're alluding to there.
That's right.
But I did have one last question. We had this report today that the Raiders and maybe some other teams have reached out to Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Is there any fire where that smoke is?
I don't believe that Bill Belichick is interested in returning to the NFL in 2025. Now, again, I was told that it's in fact, my news desk sent me an email earlier today and asked about this because there were some reports. My response was they asked, hey, there's reports out there about Bill Belichick and Brady, all the reports. I was told it's quote unquote a bad rumor, and it's not happening. So. Again, we'll see. I never rule out anything, but I don't believe there's credence to Bill Belichick leaving North Carolina now to return to coach in the NFL in 2025.
All right, well, then we'll leave it right there. Adam Schefter, thanks so much for the time today. I know this was not an easy day for you either, by the way. I saw your tweets about your dog who unfortunately passed away. I thought that was a very touching tribute. So our thoughts are with you and the family today.
I appreciate you saying that. We are heartbroken today. Thank you.